What's up, YouTuberverse? It's your boy RB back again for another one. Skip Bayless's first episode without Shannon Sharp did not go too hot. Let's talk about it. Nuance Machine, episode 57. Let's kick it. All right, before we get started, please hit that like and subscribe button. Also, please check out my shop, breezysprints.com, where you can find all original designs printed on high-quality tees, tank tops, sweatshirts, and hoodies. All designs are done by yours truly, and without further ado, let's get into it. So by now, I'm sure you know the story of Shannon Sharp leaving Undisputed and joining ESPN to debate with Stephen A. I'm not going to rehash all those details. Just know that Shannon Sharp felt like he had outgrew Skip Bayless and Undisputed.
That's like kissing Halle Berry through a screen pool.
Really?
What you doing? Lips don't touch. Oh, that's Halle Berry. That's the same way.
He was working way too hard. He was getting up at like 4 o'clock in the morning every morning to make that show happen.
Yeah, what is that?
And he just wanted to take a little bit of a break from all that. So completely understand that. So Skip Bayless and Fox Sports had to find a replacement or replacements for Shannon, and they were able to get Michael Irvin, Richard Sherman, and Keyshawn Johnson to debate football throughout the NFL season. All of these signings seemed like home runs for Undisputed and Fox on paper, but they still needed to execute the plan in real life. And my assumption, and I'm sure most people's assumption, was that they would have a rotating cast of one or two of these guys sitting across from Skip, just like they do on First Take with Stephen A. and his rotating cast. I once had a teacher in high school that used to always tell us that when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. And for the slow people out there, when you take ass, you, me, squish it all together, it spells assume. Anyway, I was interested in seeing how Skip Bayless interacted one-on-one with Richard Sherman.
I'm better at life than you.
I'm interested to see how him and Michael Irvin debate about how the Cowboys should be run. And I like to see them cry when the Cowboys lose. I want to see if Keyshawn Johnson's still that soft-spoken guy he was at ESPN, or if he's going to turn it up and hoot and holler with Skip Bayless. And everybody knows hootin' leads to hollering. So if you like the shirt, check it out, breezysprints.com. Anyway, back to the video. All those things are interesting, and I just wanted to see how all that plays out. But in order for that to play out, they need to have one-on-one debates. Now, I don't actually watch Undisputed because, I got bills and shit.
We got bills and shit!
And I'm usually working when it's on, but I do get to catch a few highlights when I get off from work. Well, today's highlights were something. First off, they had Michael Irvin, Richard Sherman, and Keyshawn Johnson all together on the first day.
To go to another level,
We'll see.
You can't.
Yeah.
I can't imagine this was Skip's idea, because Skip wants to talk as much as possible, to the point where he would regularly interrupt Shannon when it was just the two of them. No, I think that this was a completely corporate decision. Like, all the executives got in a room and they were like, so I got an idea, right? So the NFL season's about to start, right? And we just hired a bunch of NFL guys to debate Skip, right? Well, on the first day, debate party. We bring in all of them. The people in that room looked around at each other, and somebody said, "That's brilliant."
Brilliant!
And that's what they decided to do. And of course, it was a complete disaster. Y'all remember when Skip was awkwardly on Undisputed alone after the Damar Hamlin incident? Like, it was just 2 hours of Skip awkwardly monologuing, and it was terrible. And, well, this was the complete opposite of that. This episode of Undisputed was absolute chaos. First off, Michael Irvin hasn't been on TV in a while, so he's just jonesing to get at it, and he was way more animated than usual.
Sorry, I hadn't been on TV in a while. I don't mean to take over nothing.
Secondly, everyone ended up ignoring Skip in the end, which honestly I find kind of hilarious. There was a point where they were talking about Trey Lance being traded to the Cowboys, and Skip, being a huge Cowboys fan, obviously had a lot to say about that, and he couldn't get 2 words in, man. Keyshawn Johnson, Michael Irvin, Richard Sherman just completely took over that segment. Everyone in the room completely ignored Skip, and they were just debating amongst each other.
This may spark that to go to another level.
We'll see.
You can't assume he's going to be flimsy and he's got to worry about this, because if you're worried about everybody else coming in, you're not the quarterback they need in the first place, and he is.
No, you could really tell that these former NFL players respect each other way more than they respect Skip. Imagine that. 3 former NFL players don't care about the opinion of the only journalist in the room. And of course, I use that term loosely. This episode turned Skip into Molly Querim. Like, he's just the host of the show now. He just introduced the cast and tell us about what they're debating and then sits back and looks pretty for the camera. Like, you can visibly see the frustration on Skip's face.
Okay, so if nobody else is starting but Dak, then what?
We don't have time because you guys talk too much.
Like, Skip does not want to be eye candy. Skip is. I'm sorry. I can't say that with a straight face. This man looks like the Grinch. Anyway, Skip doesn't see himself as the host of the show. He sees himself as the talent of the show. And again, I use that word loosely as well. People don't watch this show for Skip Bayless, and I've said that multiple times. In fact, in this particular episode, you could have taken Skip out and no one would have noticed. And it actually wasn't a bad debate. Like, everybody was animated. They had good back and forth with each other.
Yes. And those 3 first rounds, man. No, listen.
But Mike, we were just talking about cars and how you buy them high and you sell them low. They sold him so low you couldn't pass that deal up.
Right. Before we came on. Right.
And what I'm saying,
so you couldn't pass the deal up.
But no. you also got to trust that your quarterback understands he's secure.
That's what I was going to ask you, though, Mike.
Dog, y'all know these quarterbacks. Y'all stop playing, man. We love them all, but y'all know how sensitive they are. We all understand that.
It's just that Skip couldn't get a word in, and it's Skip's show, so of course that makes it a disaster. I'm sure Skip probably went to the executives and told them, like, please don't put all these people on one show ever again, because he was clearly the dimmest star in the room on this episode. I've said it before, and I'll continue saying it. Skip is 72 years old. He's desperately trying to hold on to relevance, and he just realized that he easily gets pushed out when there's too many strong personalities sharing the spotlight with him. But that's going to be all for this one, guys. I will see you on the next one.
Can't wait.
Love you guys. Peace.
Dark side, light this bitch up.